Welcome back to the Jazz Pursuit and part 2 of our When I Fall in Love analysis. If you haven't already, do check out our part 1 video where we discuss the melody and fundamental harmony. In this video, we're going to look at additional chord changes and reharmonisations that can be added to When I Fall in Love. Do like and subscribe below and check out our Patreon page for PDF handouts and other extras. Let's get started. So this is where we left things in our part 1 video, and now we're going to look at each section discussing extra chord changes, and then I'm going to show you my top 3 favourite reharms. Let's get started and take a look at the A section. The first place to add some harmony is where the harmony is currently static. Having 4 bars of chord 1 E flat major 7 feels stagnant, so we put in 2 1-6-2-5 progressions. These progressions not only take us back to chord 1, but help to keep the bass notes and chords moving. Chord 1 E flat major 7 moves to chord 6 C minor 7, then to chord 2 F minor 7, which leads us to chord 5 B flat 7, which resolves back to chord 1 E flat major 7, and then we do the whole thing again. Seeing as we've added our 1-6-2-5 here, we should also add it to the last line of the C section, where we repeat the opening phrase of the tune. So we drop in chord 6 C minor 7 to the 5th bar of the C section. There's another place in the A section where we can add some extra chords, and it's in bar 6. We currently have our F minor 7 chord, which then turns to a dominant chord F7 in the next bar. This movement isn't particularly strong, so a common reharm here is to set up our F7 chord with another 5-1 cadence. So if F7 is the 1 and the target point of our 5-1 cadence, then this means the 5 chord is C7. Our melody note in this bar is A flat, so we have to put a flat 13 in our C7 chord symbol to accommodate this. Brilliant! So now let's hear the A section with our additional changes. Super! That's sounding a lot fuller, so now let's take a look at what we can add to the B section. First off is bar 6. We currently have our re cadence, and we're simply going to embellish our 5-1 cadence and turn it into a 2-5-1 cadence. As our target point, or chord 1 in this cadence, is F minor 7, this is going to be a minor 2-5-1. G half diminished will be the 2 chord, which takes us to C7 flat 9 as the 5 chord, resolving to F minor 7 as the 1 chord in bar 7 of the B section. Super! And we can also add some extra chords in bars 3 and 4 of the B section. Currently, we have chord 3 G minor 7 to chord 6 C minor 7 to chord 2 F minor 7. These chords do all lead to each other, but as they're all the same chord type, there's no real tension and release. Our target point is the F minor 7 chord, so we're going to put in a 1-4-3-6 progression to propel us towards it. E flat major 7 is the 1 chord, A flat major 7 is the 4 chord, G minor 7 is the 3 chord, and C minor 7 is the 6 chord. We've basically just squished our G minor 7 and C minor 7 chords into one bar, and added a couple of chords before them to keep the harmony moving. Now, as our target point is F minor 7, we're also going to turn our G minor 7 to C minor 7 into a minor 2-5 to give us even more tension and release. So our G minor 7 chord becomes G half diminished, and our C minor 7 chord becomes C7 flat 9. Great! So now let's hear the B section with our added harmony. Cool! So this leaves us with just the C section tweaks to discuss. There's not a lot to add here as the harmony is already quite full, but one thing we can do is embellish our 5/1 cadence in bars 3 and 4 and turn this into a 2-5-1. F-7 is our target point, so again it's the same minor 2-5 from before. G half diminished is the 2 chord and C7 flat 9 is the 5 chord. Brilliant! So that's most of the common chord changes covered. I wanted to end the video by talking about 3 really cool reharms that you can add in your own versions. First up is bar 1 of the B section. We currently start on chord 1 E flat major 7, and then this moves to chord 4 A flat major 7. Now, if we wanted to make this movement stronger, we could put a 5 chord in front of the A flat major 7 chord. So if A flat major 7 is the 1 in our 5-1, then this means E flat 7 would be the 5 chord. So now we have E flat major 7 for 2 beats, then E flat dominant 7 for 2 beats, which takes us to A flat major 7. Now here's the cool bit. Rather than E flat 7, a common trick is to play the tritone substitution of this chord. A tritone substitute is where we substitute a dominant chord for another dominant chord a tritone away. For example, we could substitute C7 for F sharp 7, as it's a dominant chord a tritone away from C. This works as the 3rd and 7th of both chords are the same. In the C7 chord, the 3rd and 7th are E and B flat, and then the 3rd and 7th of our F sharp 7 chord are A sharp, which is the same as B flat, and E, so they're the same. So back to When I Fall in Love, and we're going to tritone substitute the E flat 7 chord to a dominant chord a tritone away, which is A7. Then, because the melody note is an E flat, we're going to add a sharp 11 to our chord symbol to accommodate this. Cool, right? And the good news is that we can add the same chord to the first bar of the C section, as both sections begin the same way. Here's how it sounds. Great, and now for cool reharm number 2. This one is in the 4th bar of the C section, where we currently have our 2-5, which takes us home to E flat major. Rather than having a regular 2-5, we can add a backdoor 2-5. A backdoor 2-5 is where the 5 chord resolves up a tone rather than resolving down a 5th, like a regular 2-5. So if E flat major 7 is the target point, then our backdoor 5 chord is D flat 7, as it resolves up a tone to E flat major 7. If D flat 7 is the 5 in our 2-5, then this means A flat minor 7 will be the 2 chord. Here's how it sounds. If you listen to the Nat King Cole version, he drops these backdoor 2-5s all over the place. They can basically substitute any regular 2-5, but the important bit is it has to fit the melody. Therefore, another place you could add one is in the last bar of the B section. The melody is static on a B flat, so we can drop in our backdoor 2-5, A flat minor 7 to D flat 7, resolving up a tone to E flat major 7 in the first bar of the A section. Here's how this one sounds. Great, and now for the third cool reharm, and this one is in bar 5 of the B section. Currently, we sit on our F minor 7 chord for a bar, before then we have a 2-5 re-cadence back to F minor 7. A little trick here is that we can set up our G half diminished with another 5-1 cadence. G half diminished is the 1 in the 5-1 cadence. This means D7 is the 5 chord. Pretty standard so far, right? So here's the cool bit. Because our melody note at this point is an F, this is the sharp 9 on our D7 chord, which means we can change our D7 chord to D7 altered to accommodate it. Here's how this one sounds. Nice, right? An important thing to remember is that despite us talking about cool extra chord changes and reharms, the melody is always king, and everything we do should support it rather than overshadow it. These tricks are probably best used in solo piano, duo with a vocalist, or outlined in your own improvising. Cool, so that's all from me. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Do like and subscribe below for new content, and check out our Patreon page for PDFs and other extras. Happy practicing!